Do you have what it takes to be a DM? Keep watching to find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. While we don't have our regularly scheduled player's guide going up today, I do still need to kind of put up some kind of content while we wait for the voting on the polls to conclude for which class for Pathfinder, first edition Pathfinder that is, I end up covering next. So today we're going to talk about if you have what it takes to become a DM and join our glorious storied legion. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit the subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you've already gone on ahead and joined such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down to hit the like button and share the video far and wide, you dashingly handsome and gorgeous adventurers you. But now let's actually find out if you have what it takes to become a DM. Do you want to become a DM? Fantastic! You have everything you need to get started right there. That's all it really takes to become a DM. Now, are you going to be great right off the bat? It's hard to say. Probably not, maybe not, but hell, nobody else is stepping up, or maybe you just have a story that you want to tell or explore. That's all the reason that you need to have. All you really need to get going from there is a book, a rule book, or a DM guide, the player's guide, whatever rulebook your game has, your chosen vessel for storytelling, whatever it has for you to read up on to get familiar with the rules, do that. Read up on it and start learning them. You're not going to remember them all right off the bat. Hell, I've been at this for, oh my god, 21 years now. But even I still am learning so much. I mean, all of these games, I don't remember what all the rules are or what all the things are. I remember a lot. I remember a ridiculous amount, but I'm still finding and discovering new things all the time. Like, so many new things. Now, remembering it all right off the bat, that's not really necessary. I mean, it's helpful. It is helpful. Knowing the rules is going to help you run the game much more smoothly, but the rules are not the final judge for whatever situations you and your players may find yourselves in. You are going to be the final arbitrator, have the last word and final say on anything at hand, and you're going to make your ruling, and you'll need to several different times, because sometimes the rules just don't quite fit with what's going on, or they just don't cover what's going on. So you'll need to make a judgment call. And getting familiar with the rules and running a couple of games, that's how you're going to get better at it. Hell, that's just how you're going to get better at being a DM overall. Because being a DM is just not rote memorization of the rules. If that's what it took, then, man, I'd just be like a C+ DM overall. No, what's going to make you a great DM is that experience to make those kinds of judgment calls that fall outside of the rules or don't quite fit with the rules, and also telling a good story. Now, also balancing combat encounters, not outright ganking your players right off the bat or making things too easy. That's probably those three things right there. Telling a good story, balancing the combat to where it's kind of okay, and knowing the rules a bit. And then, and you're going to get all those things just by doing. You can read the books so many different times in so many different ways, and that'll help, but that's no substitute for experience. And so, getting out there and just running the games is going to help improve your play style massively. How you run these games will get better and better. Your stories will become better put together, more cohesive, more interesting, more intricate, or more... It's a certain je ne sais quoi that I am missing with it there, but they'll be more compelling. Even the simplest of story can be so inherently compelling. I mean, Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's one of the most beloved cartoon series ever produced, and it does not have a complicated plot. And it's a pretty simple plot overall. I mean, Good guys stop the bad guy. Bad guy, evil fascist, wants to take over the world. That's pretty basic, pretty simple storytelling. It's a classic, and it works. It sticks with you. The thing with simple is, it's hard to screw up. Intricate little weavings and plot threads. There's so many ways that you can write yourself into a corner, create so many different plot holes that just really suck the players out of the game, forgetting your notes, forgetting where exactly you're at in this intricate web. That gets messy pretty quick, and definitely something better left to if you're to a more experienced DM. But again, you're only going to get there by running these stories to begin with, and there's nothing stopping you from taking a simple story, what starts off as a simple story, and as you gain more confidence over time, adding to it, layering things in, because it's by expanding the world and the players' role within it, their place within the world, that you can really start to make things feel more complicated than they may actually be. Because those complications, they're not necessarily from the plot itself, it's the connections the players have made over the course of that story. If they have become close allies with a local regent, a local lord and magistrate, they become close friends with this person, have undertaken several adventures, have been sponsored by them over the course of a couple of different adventures now, and they've really developed a good friendship where it's actually a legitimate friendship. Finding out that they may have to put a stop to whatever shadowy designs this person has is going to introduce conflict for the players. It'll be simple in and of itself on the face of it, but that connection there is really going to complicate things for the players, because this is a friend of theirs, this is an ally, this is somebody who has paid them and rewarded them generously, has had them in their feast hall, has had them meet their family. And now they find out that this person's doing some shady things on the side. Now, it's court politics, courtly intrigues and everything, but it's an objectively terrible thing, and it's something that they may very well feel compelled to stop. But they also have that conflict of, do they want to cause harm to somebody who has been such a close friend and could be a potentially even stronger ally if they assisted them, if they compromised their own morals, their own stance to assist this person. Now, other than this one particular thing that they've stepped into, that's a necessity of court politics, this person is an otherwise genuinely good person. It's just they're a good person who, by the dictates of their position in the court, in the nobility, they have to do awful things from time to time. It's just one of those things that it's simple, but it feels more complicated than it is because the player's own connections, biases are thrown into the mix there. So that's another way that you can really develop and enhance your storytelling, is it's not necessarily that the plot itself has to be complicated. It's who's involved that complicates things. That's what makes things complicated and interesting, because that takes something that the players have cultivated and developed and kind of given it just that little bit of a twist where they realize it's actually the knife twisting in their ribs. It's making you go, ugh, this hurts. But it's an interesting decision. It's an interesting crossroads for them to be at, and it's all through roleplay. It's not combat. Combat is interesting, it's fun, it's great triumphing, it's great succeeding, but a really good story is not just the combat. The combat's the means to an end. The combat is a means to resolving a conflict that has actually broken out into physical conflict. Now, the payoff is the story as you go over things, as they triumph and come through the other side, or fail after coming through the other side, and seeing how things resolve. And that is also going to require judgment and experience on your part. But the only way to really get that is to do it. Or if you're paying especially close attention to how your own DM does things, I'm assuming you have a DM that's gotten you into this, then you can learn some by watching them, certainly more so than from reading these various rulebooks. Again, the rulebooks are helpful, but they're no substitute for actually running a game. And therein lies an issue I have with some DMs who really necessitate having XYZ level of mastery over the rules. I mean, that's good, it is helpful, and it's a good framework to work from, but the rules are not the be-all to end-all. They're helpful, they're good to have, it's good to try to have some balance to everything, even though, you know, full spellcasting classes are ungodly powerful. It's still a good story, and telling a good story, just like anything else, takes practice. And of course, it probably helps to have a couple of friends to play these games. But what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Should I do these kinds of things more often, or do you feel like I should kind of leave this behind? Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit those like or dislike buttons, and remember, if you're new here to the channel, go on down there, hit that subscribe button, I guess that would actually be over here on your screen, and become a regular member here at the Gamers Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.